Hello, everyone. I'm my name's Cara Helbig, and I had the honor of being your guys' senior class president this year, and also the honor of being the least decorated class president in history. Yeah, no special chords for me, but it's okay. I'll just shut up and start talking. If you're fortunate enough to have your mom here, thank her, hug her, or tell her how much you love her. If you're fortunate enough to have your dad here, express your gratitude for him. They drove you to practice. They encouraged you when you doubted yourself. They let you go to school wearing unmatched socks, because that's what you really wanted to do. They let you struggle, knowing that you'd grow as a human being and that that support was always there when you needed it. Be thankful. You couldn't have done it without them. Be thankful for the clothes on your back and the shoes on your feet. Be thankful for having a roof over your head and a full stomach every night. Be thankful for their undying support. Some people aren't as fortunate or as blessed to have someone here who has undying love and support for them. And my heart goes out to those people. Don't take your loved ones for granted. I beg you. All of us will experience obstacles as we go forward in our lives. Many different mountains, some of which we feel that we won't be able to climb, at least not as easily. Life may get a little chaotic, but there's beauty in everything, even chaos. If you know a thing or two about me, you know that grief is a very important part of my life. The power of grief is a defining factor of who I am today. I have always believed that grief is a beautiful thing. Grief is one of, if not the most, painful, crippling, and paralyzing eternal feelings a human can fathom. It's simply the profound bond and love for a human that can no longer be channeled towards that individual. When faced with grief, you have two options. Either the situation will drive you to become your best self, or it could send you down a devastating path. The heartbreaking thought of they will never see me become this or that is constantly in the back of your head. Grief would not exist if love was not so persevering. I myself have experienced more than the average 18-year-old. I lost my dad when I was 8, turning 9. He struggled with addiction, anxiety, and depression. I wish he was here today. I always thought that losing a parent was the worst thing that was ever going to happen to me, and I revolved my entire personality around it. However, I was still young at the time and not emotionally developed, until I faced yet another mountain that I couldn't climb. In the middle of our junior year, my dad walked into my room. He told me the news that would change the course of my life forever. My grandfather, Michael Swisher, had committed suicide at the age of 65 years old. That drove me to a very low point, lower than I could even fathom. And it had me constantly asking the same question over and over and over and over again. Why? Why didn't you get help? Why would you leave our family like this? Why am I supposed to experience this again? Sometimes the saddest, most depressed people try their absolute hardest to make people happy because they know what it feels like to be absolutely worthless, and they don't want anyone else to feel that way. The sad thing is, many people feel that they need to put on a mask to hide their vulnerability. In 2024, the AFS estimated that around 720 people committed suicide in the US alone, In 2025, there are 445,000 people who have already taken their own lives. During my speech, 10 people in the US will take their own lives. 78% of those people are men, and 52% of those people used a gun. My grandfather was one of those people. The bullet that exited the chamber that day landed right in the center of my heart. However, I wouldn't even be alive in front of all of you if it wasn't for my grandfather. When I was 2 years old, me and my siblings were swimming over at my grandparents' pool, and me being the smart 2-year-old that I was, I escaped my mom's sight and I decided to hop in the pool because my feet were hot. Problem was, I didn't know how to swim. My grandmother got me out of that pool, but my grandpa was the one who gave me CPR and saved my life that day. Not only did he save my life physically, but he also saved my life mentally and emotionally. He was one of the most intelligent human beings who I've ever been around. And no, I'm not saying that out of grief and respect. I'm saying that coming from the bottom of my heart. He would drop in little lessons as we went fishing. He taught me how to captain a boat, or when we were watching our favorite show, Ted Lasso. One time, on our way to a South Point car show, we were talking about life, and he was a very successful man, and I asked him, I was like, how do you do it? And he told me it was that relationships and connections are the most important thing that any of us around here are going to experience as human beings. And I asked him, I said, well, gee, how are you so good at building relationships? What he told me next has forever stuck in the back of my head. Hate has 4 letters, but so does love. Enemies has 7 letters, but so does friends. Lying has 5 letters, but so does truth. Failure has 7 letters, but so does success. Cry has 3 letters, but so does joy. And negativity has 10 letters, but so does positivity. You'll always have a choice, so choose the better side of it. Losing what feels like everything can be one of life's most valuable lessons. It teaches you a lot, and I'd like to say that I've learned a lot about myself and other people over the past year, especially about the importance of other people. Loss and grief teach you to better understand and respect what others may be going through. It teaches you not to take anything for granted, nor anyone for granted. And it teaches you the value of value. I remember the last time I saw my grandfather. It was the Super Bowl of last year. And I remember looking into his eyes, and I'll never forget what happened the next. I was leaving their house, and I turned around, and he was one of those people who was like, oh yeah, you don't need to say I love you all the time. Like, just one of those people. And so as I'm leaving, for some reason, there was a voice in the back of my head that told me that would be the last time I ever saw him. And I believed it. I looked him square in the eyes, and I said, I love you, G. Never forget that. And I gave him the tightest, longest hug I ever had. He told me, I love you too, Carter. And I never saw him again. There are people in our lifetime who we will meet who are extraordinary. We understand it when they're here, but when we lose them, the loss is never really fulfilled. We cope and try to always remember to keep that spirit alive within us. The ability to naturally heal over time is a gift to humanity beyond human comprehension. A year ago, if you were to tell me that I was able to speak like this about my grandfather in front of thousands of people, I would have thought you were insane. I would have thought you were insane due to the fact that I couldn't even compose sentences at my grandfather's funeral because the tears running down my face were far too overbearing. Life has unpredictable obstacles coming your way, mountains you won't be able to climb, and tests that will seem impossible to pass. Maintaining a positive outlook combined with unwavering motivation will help you overcome the curveballs that life has to throw at you. It can be so hard to make every second count when facing these challenges, believe me. However, don't take anything in life for granted. There is beauty in chaos, no matter what it may be. There's someone out there who has it worse than you. Everything happens for a reason. If you don't look in deep in life, you'll never find the deep, meaningful things that life has to offer. Like Joe Von Scott once said, existence could be beautiful or it could be ugly, but that's on you to decide. Some days, doing the best we can may still fall short of what we'd like to be able to do. But life isn't perfect in any way. And doing what we can with what we have is the most we should expect out of ourselves or anyone else. Your value doesn't decrease just because of someone's inability to see your worth, even if that person is you. Thank you to all of the class of 2025, friends, parents, teachers, and family members for being here today. Thank you to Mr. Bastos, Mrs. Price, Dr. Pavlik, and Talia Lozar for all going out of your way to help me with this speech. No, the purpose of this speech wasn't to make you laugh or to make you cry, but it was to make you think. But not just to think, but to rethink. Rethink all of the times where you judge people without knowing the full story, and take the time to reflect and better yourself, because that's what humanity needs. Like I said before, my grandfather and I's favorite show to watch together was Ted Lasso. Here's a quote from the show that has always stuck with me. I hope that either all of us or none of us are judged by the actions of our weakest moments, but rather by the strength we show when and if we are given a second chance. You are loved, and never lose sight of that. You can climb that mountain, and you can pass that test. Time heals all. Rest in peace, Joshua Kane Petragus. Rest in peace, Michael M. Swisher. Thank you. Thank you very much.